So today we're gonna teach you how to save a bunch of money on repairs on your car whenever it starts running like shit. Okay, so today we've got a 2012 Dodge Avenger that is running like shit and dying. And this is a good opportunity to talk about doing plugs and coil packs and how we figured out it needs plugs and coil packs. This is about the easiest car in the world to do it on. But by doing it yourself, you've got the potential to save, you know, $200-300 just depending on what vehicle. I guess we're gonna jump right into that and show you how we figured out what was wrong with it. Okay, so Brett's got the scan tool plugged in and everything, and so they're cheap. Honestly, you can buy one from Harbor Freight now for like $50. You can order them online. They've got some that'll Bluetooth to your phone. It's a really good addition to any set of tools to have a scan tool, especially if you're working on newer stuff. But he's got everything loaded on it, and basically what it's showing is the random multiple misfire code, and then what's the other one, Brett? The 301, so the cylinder 1. Normally when we see that, it could be plugs or coil pack. In this scenario, she's on a trip. She's actually driven like 10 hours to get here, and before she makes the other 2 hours of her trip and then goes back home, we can go ahead and knock it all out at once. There's no second guessing. I mean, you ideally could probably just do all the plugs and then change the cylinder 1 coil pack and be okay with it, but I mean, we're just going to be better safe than sorry, and it's still saving her a bunch of money by doing it this way. So as far as this goes, we've got everything laid out here. We've already gapped our spark plugs. We know they're right. I mean, they come pre-gapped most of the time now, but never just put them in. Check them. I mean, we've got new coil packs, so I guess we're gonna go ahead and jump into this. What size is that bit you got in your hand?
This here is a T25.
Okay, so the T25, and like I said, on this is not all cars are this easy. This is about, honestly, as easy as it gets, but this kind of gives you an idea of what you're looking at and how to do it. Let's see if I can get a good angle on them. So, I mean, this is a coil on plug setup, so some vehicles aren't coil on plug. They've got the plug wires and like one central coil or two central coils, but this one, the coils actually just thread down into the same hole, or not thread, but they slot down and pop into the same hole as the spark plugs. So you just pull that off. So now he's got a 16mm socket and an extension.
They're supposed to be that tight?
Yeah, and then with plugs, especially, like, be careful on like Ford products. If they're really tight, you don't want to use a bunch of force. You just kind of want to, you'll feel what I'm talking about, but you don't want to like sharp brake to break it loose. You just want a real smooth turn. Okay, so now all your plugs are loose, and you don't have a magnet to get them out of the hole. Kind of a pain in the ass. They don't stay stuck in the socket because you don't have a specialty socket to do that with. So all you need, the rubber hose. We seriously just yanked the vacuum line off of the valve cover of the Mustang. Stick it in. There's your plug. And I think he's gonna go ahead and pull all the plugs out of it. Kind of lay them up there, that way we can compare and make sure that all our parts are right before we go back together with it. And once you get them broke loose, you just unthread them a little bit with the hose. It's a sweet ass life hack. There she is. And the biggest thing you want to look at here is take you a new, I can't tell you, like, at the shop we work at, how many times we've seen something as simple as getting an incorrect plug. I'll hold these up as like a comparison so we can make sure they're the same. And what you want to do is you just want to put them side by side, make sure that they're the same height, that the new plug isn't any longer than the old one. This goes down into the cylinder, and you can tear up all kind of shit by having a plug just a little bit too long. It's crazy how much damage you can do. But so we know they're correct, and so all he's going to do is grab his hose and start putting his new plugs in. And you'll know when they're started because the hose will pull off of the plug and the plug will stay in. And obviously, like I said a while ago, we checked the gap on these to make sure they were correct. They were already preset, but never just stick them in. Like always, it's like 49 cents for the gapper tool at the parts store when you're picking up the rest of this. Get a gapper, Google it, make sure that they're set correctly. Don't know how much of a difference that gap makes. And then that's all you need. With spark plugs, never over tighten them or get crazy with them. You pretty much, they'll run themselves down snug, and then you go just a hair past that. You'll have to excuse him, he's kind of a wild man with the ratchet. He'll be tinking on all kind of shit. Yeah. And then so obviously it pretty much explains itself. They just pop back in. Double checked everything, everything's tight. Now let's get the keys and see if we made a difference. Check engine light is off. Nice. Okay. So that turned the check engine light off. Alright. Now the hardest part about doing this job. We gotta test drive it. But we're also stacked 3 deep in the driveway again. So we're gonna shuffle all the cars around so that we can get it out. Let's try this again. Now Brett has a spot to sit, and we're gonna go for a ride and just kind of see how she acts. Sound like it needs brakes. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it seems like it's idling good. She said that it was running pretty well before, like running down the road at a constant speed, but it was like the stopping and slowing down to stop that was kind of giving her fits. But I mean, we're idling like a champion now. At that low, like 600-700 idle, no missing. I'd call it a success. I guess we can take this time to kind of talk about how much money you actually save there. So by doing this job yourself, it was right at $37 a piece for the coil packs on this thing, and there are 4 of them. So you're at like 120 there. The plugs are only about $4 a piece. Your cost, and then obviously there's no labor for you to do it yourself, and you can do it in about 15 minutes. So we wanted to go ahead and give you guys an idea. We're gonna call and just get a quote on the same job that we just did.
Thank you for trusting Pepboys, your Wagner Brake headquarters. Please hold just a moment.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
He hung up on us.
I think he didn't hit the hold button.
Yeah.
Thank you for trusting Pepboys, your Wagner Brake headquarters. This is Steve. How may I help you?
Yes, sir. So I've got my check engine light on, and I just went to the parts store and they scanned it. I've got like misfire codes. They suggested getting like plugs and coil packs done.
Alright. Is something I wouldn't be able to detail you for you until tomorrow. I don't have a mechanic on duty anymore. He already went home about half an hour ago.
That's fine. Is there any way you can give me like an idea of what it would run?
Yeah, give me one moment. What year, make, and model is it?
It's a 2012 Dodge Avenger.
4-cylinder or 6-cylinder?
It's the 4-cylinder.
Alright, and on the coils, basically those aren't, you don't replace those unless they're actually bad. So I'd recommend starting with just the plugs.
Okay. What would it cost to get just the plugs changed?
I'm working it up for you right now, boss.
Thank you, sir.
Not a problem. So it'll be you right at $180 after taxes, $180.
To do the plugs on it?
Yes, sir. That's the plugs and the labor.
Okay. Is there, other than to do the coil packs, is there any other additional like labor with that, or is it just the parts?
Just the parts, because when you do the spark plugs, you got to pull the coil packs off anyway.
Okay. All right, man. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Thank you guys for watching. Please click down the like and the subscribe button. It'd be very much appreciated.